Hello everyone, my name is Stefania. I'm veterinarian. I work in equine rehabilitation and welfare field. I'm also a professional BitFit consultant, and today I would like to talk with you about horse-leg bandaging. For many years I was working in Western Europe and Central Europe, also in Scandinavia as a dressage groom. So I had lots of experience in horse leg bandaging for training, for stall rest, and also after injuries. There is a huge amount of details about horse leg bandaging what I would like to talk about, but it's impossible to do in a short video. But I would like to talk about at least those important things. First of all, you have to think about, are you gonna bandage for training or for stable bandaging? So for stable bandaging, you will choose 4 meters length of the bandage, and for the training session, you would choose 3.5. Different materials available on the market on the bandages. For example, the fleece material is very popular. Also some kind of polyester and cotton. And also this type of the elastic bandages, unless they are specially made for the horses in a particular way, for example for compression, then it's fine. But if they are just a simple elastic bandages like this, I would recommend to avoid them, because it's a big likelihood that you can harm the horse in the way that you can cut the circulation, blood circulation and lymph circulation. One very important part about the bandaging is actually how to prepare the bandages for bandaging. So we have a sticky part and the part which sticks to. We have to fold it inside this way, put them together, and then carry on rolling bandage the same direction as you close the Velcro, very tightly. It's very important that you make your bandage as tight as possible, because otherwise, if it's going to be too loose, it's going to be very difficult to roll around horse leg, and it's going to just fall off your arms all the time. So for comparison, same bandage, see how tight this is made and how loose this one. So when you handle it, it's much easier when it's tighter than it's so loose. It is highly advisable that you use under the bandages some kind of padding, this type, because that helps, first of all, to keep bandage tighter and stable on the leg. Second, it takes also some sweat away. And the third is that it helps you distribute the pressure you apply with bandage. Safety is first, so when you do your horse leg bandaging, you should never sit down or stand on your knees. The best way is actually to be a half bended down. One of the first things what you need to evaluate is actually the length of the bone from here down to the fetlock, and also to consider how wide the bandage itself is, so you could understand what the next step for the next layer could be. Important is how you actually hold your bandage against your horse leg. You shouldn't hold it this way and apply it like this. Otherwise you need to do this type of movement. It's quite not handy. The bandage will fall out easier from your arm. And the very important reason is why it's not good, because when you do a bandage around, see, it's actually not really against the horse leg. So I do the rotation around and again around. It's quite okay, but it's not against all the time with the same pressure. So this is why you should apply your bandage this way. So it actually could be in the contact with horse leg all the time, like that. When you start to apply your pad, you should look that if you have a labels on, it should face up, just because if it's going to be down, it is likely that it's going to pull actually whole bandage down. So also you need to put it nicely between here is the bone and here are the tendons. So you should lay it in this groove in here, like that, to start with, and then go around so it would be smooth underneath the bandage. You should look so your pad is never on the tendon like this or on the bone like this. It will do the pressure mark. One of the most important parts of bandaging is the correct applied pressure and the correct direction of the applying of pressure. So if we have a look from an anatomical point of view, here horse have a bone and here horse have a tendons and inside the ligaments. So when you apply your bandage, you should never apply the bandage so you make more pressure from a tendon part, because otherwise you're gonna make a compression like this, and this is the way how you can really harm the horse. So this is the direction and the way you should apply the bandage. So you go inside towards the head and then outside, and only then you can apply some pressure. And then you go with your bandage applying it tightly against the leg, and only from a bone backwards you can apply some pressure and carry on down. When you have put your pad around and it sits nicely and tightly, then you can start to put your bandage and secure it. You start somewhere from the middle a little bit more down, and you don't do much pressure yet, you just secure the layers so they would hold on, and then you keep going a little bit more down. And once you have reached the fetlock, you need to go a little bit more oblique, so you would reach under the fetlock, and from this point you have to apply more pressure so it would sit tighter. Then when you go from the other side again up, then you go again oblique to create this kind of triangle, or what we call a little bird. You can see I left a little bit here underneath on purpose so you could see this triangle, and then you carry on going up. So here you see how it looks behind with the layers. So once you've done the triangle in front, you have to make sure that the next layer, what you're going to do, it's not going to be too steep like this, but you actually have to go quite a horizontal way now, so to cover this layer well enough, because this is a very movable part, and if it's not going to be secured well, it's going to just slip down. So then, once you covered this part, you carry on going horizontal, not too oblique, and covering with the next layer on the front leg at least 2/3 or actually 3/4 of the next layer, of the previous layer, sorry, like that. And then you have to feel also how much bandage you have left in your arm, and you can a little bit variate to put a little bit more on the previous layer or less, as long as you make it nice and smooth up and finish on the very top like that. Also, you should see that your bandage is well and smooth and not too wide underneath or on the top, so it's quite even. Finish your bandaging exactly where there's a bending of the leg, not higher than that, otherwise it's gonna be interfering with horse movement and rubbing in here. Also, the tightness you can check. You should be able quite easier to put one finger inside. There are different ways how you can remember which leg you should bandage which way. So you can remember that left leg you should bandage counterclockwise, and the right leg you should bandage clockwise, or you can remember that you should go through the middle towards the head and outside. A few tips for you so it would be easier to start your bandaging. The bandage brands, most of the time they make all bandages the same, but some of them they make for the front legs a bit shorter and for the hind legs a bit longer. If you have bandages which are actually the same length, all of them, and you consider that the hind leg is always longer and also wider, then all you need to do is when you apply your bandage, you just have to make the next level of the layer a little bit more oblique like this. You can make bigger steps up, so cover about the half of the next layer. Also, in case you have a friend and you would like to bandage your horse both together, then one of you have to bandage front legs and the other one of you have to bandage hind legs, not just on the left side and the right side. Why? Because both of you will apply a little bit different pressure. In case if you plan a very intensive training or you go in the forest hiking, the last thing you really want to have is open bandage. For this reason, there are specially made straps which you can apply on the top where the sticker part is, or you just can use the sticky tape. Interesting fact is actually about the bandaging that the applying of the bandage and the erection of the bandaging is the same for veterinary purposes too. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and see you in the next video. Bye!